new tariffs on Canada. What are you, some kind of dictator from the Middle East?
A dictator from the Middle East? Hey, relax, guy. I'm just your average Joe. Take a rest.
The people of Canada will not be devalued like this.
Hey, come on. You don't want me to bomb you like I did Iraq.
I thought you just bombed Iran. Mr. President.
And afterwards, that is directly following, I want to talk to you about something even bigger. Namely, this is Max Headroom. And what you're about to witness is one of the most sinister-sounding intros to a trailer to one of the greatest epics ever produced in the history of television. And there's more. Because you are going to see it as well.
Yes, it.
Yes, it.
Good evening, I'm Dan Rather, and tonight on CBS News.
In a shocking development, the federal government says being broke is allowed, but if you're broke and glowing, you are officially now a suspect.
You can't be glowing more than your financial status. Look your problem.
Producers have confirmed next season of Love Island will merge with the Hunger Games. Only one couple will survive the new format. Everyone else dies.
Senator Buck Nutley has unveiled his Big Girthy bill, a new proposal meant to rival the Big Beautiful bill. But does size really matter?
Good evening. This is White Liberal News. You can't spell liberal without liar. We know it's difficult to maintain an army of midwits without setting off all of the lunatics. For more, we go to our favorite professor with Lindsay.
Thanks, Karen. I'm at the university to get talking points from Professor 𝐶. And also my hair is like multicolored now. But the professor isn't here. He's still totally missing.
Well, I thought that's the story we were doing. You thought it was, and Professor 𝐶 isn't around. This seems like men letting us down as usual.
Last time I saw him, we talked about some feminist stuff. Then he invited me to his house for the next interview. I told my brothers, who were very excited to meet him, and they're usually uninterested in my work at White Liberal News. And I get it because they're straight white men and they're Christian, but sometimes I don't get it because, like, I don't even hate my dad like others at White Liberal News tell me I should.
Well, as a liberal woman, even though the task isn't complete, we will reward you anyway because equity. The robber made off with 8 packs of Newports and $300. The gas station cashier is morally superior and refused to give a description of the suspect. To remind our viewers how much they should hate their own country, we go to a foreign-born politician.
They're on to us. We need to leave now. Everyone, grab what you can.
We apologize. This may not be a good time, but are you able to push some of the messaging or...
Karen, I really cannot talk right now. I just want to reiterate that my country is much better than the USA. I hate it here.
Well, thanks for your time. We can hopefully arrange another time for you to bash the country that gave you opportunities people born here don't even have.
We need to go now. Almost done.
Really? Already? Do I look ready for a new Latinx weather reporter?
Well, President Trump announcing 2 new luxury visa programs, a gold card and a platinum card. The gold card will cost $1 million for individuals and $2 million for companies. It will allow foreign nationals to get U.S. residency, quote, in record time. And the $2 million corporate card is transferable from one employee to another. Now, the platinum card is going to cost $5 million and will allow foreign nationals to spend 270 days in the U.S. without paying taxes on their overseas income. Now, currently, of course, we all know that U.S. citizens and residents have to pay taxes on their U.S. and their foreign income. Foreigners who are here for more than 183 days during a 3-year period that uses a special IRS formula. They, too, are currently subject to tax on overseas income. The Platinum Card, however, will extend that time period to about 9 months. Commerce Secretary Howard Lutnick saying that the new $100,000 H-1B fee, Gold Card, Platinum Card, all expected to generate $100 billion in revenue. That's going to be used to lower taxes and pay down debt. Now, the Gold Card will replace the EB-1 and EB-2 programs. We have yet to hear, initially they said this would replace the EB-5 program, which is very popular and costs $1 million and requires you to create at least 10 jobs. But if people can pay the same amount and not have a job requirement, which is what the Gold Card is, that would be a lot more attractive.
The shocking trend of Labubu violation continues as more and more people are finding their dolls' holes stretched wide open and reeking of shame.
If you thought Bigfoot was bad, wait till you meet his gooey cousin. A kumsquatch was just spotted in Dongwood National Forest.
Did you know IKEA has released a home glory hole kit called the Fuke Hole? It includes pre-drilled panels, mounting brackets, and a stain-proof finish. We begin with breaking news out of Massachusetts, where residents are reeling from what scientists are calling a comet impact.
Officials are asking everyone to stay indoors and to wear N95 masks in case of cum aerolization.
President Trump kicking off another busy week.
He calls his reflection fake news. He tried to pardon himself from Monopoly jail. He once tried to buy the moon. Great real estate, nobody lives there. He autographs subpoenas before reading them. He holds rallies in front of mirrors so the crowd is always double tremendous. His hair has its own non-disclosure agreement. He insists, if I was on Mount Rushmore, it would be called Trumpmore. So many people are saying this. His skin tone was invented in a Doritos lab.
So, Keisha, what's a high-value man to you?
A man that gave me 10 kids, 3 evictions, $10 on Cash App, and still pull up in a Nissan Altima that sound like it got...
Good evening, I'm Tom Tucker with some breaking news. A local kidnapping has rocked Quahog tonight. Rocked Quahog? Really? The whole town is... the family, maybe, is rocked, but the whole... All right, well, in any event, we now go live to Asian reporter Trisha Takanawa. Let's see how much she's rocked by all this. Trisha?
Tom, I'm standing here with Mayor Adam West with the latest information about the disappearance of young Scotty Jennings. What can you tell us, Mr. Mayor?
Please, Mr. Mayor is my father. Call me John Mayor. Your body is a wonderland, by the way.
What is the city doing to help rescue the missing boy?
Well, we're looking for this child using all the latest technology, including the newest, most advanced multimedia milk cartons.
Help me, I'm missing! Help! Why are you still eating breakfast? I'm kidnapped! Why are you turning me the other way? I'm still here!
Donald Trump is here tonight. Now, I know that he's taken some flack lately, but no one is happier, no one is prouder to put this birth certificate matter to rest than the Donald. And that's because he can finally get back to focusing on the issues that matter. Like, did we fake the moon landing? What really happened in Roswell? And where are Biggie and Tupac?
I didn't know they were here already, but you think I would have chosen this outfit. Welcome back to White Liberal News. We won't suddenly claim we're not left because we are not giant like Miss Now. We know most of our audience has no true interaction with Latinx on a regular basis. Otherwise, you would have never said Latinx. Thanks to our Mexican correspondents, we have a plethora of options for our new weather reporter. So we will need audience feedback. Keep in mind, no reporter is illegal. The winner will allow our viewers to have diversity vicariously. The losers can pick crops, as the Democrat Party reminds us. Too much? What's too much? What's too much? That dig at Miss Now? You see what they're doing, right? Okay, fine. I'll take it off. But I'm not going to tone down anything else. They need to know I'm the HBIC. We thank our applicants. We only want feedback from the leftiest liberals possible. If you've ever successfully bench pressed your weight, we don't want to hear your opinion. Join us next time when we interview cultures that had thousands of years of a head start, but got colonized by total noobs.
Welcome to the Black News Network. I'm your host, OG Dimebag Slime. Tonight's story, a gender reveal turns violent when local Bloods open fire on the party after blue confetti is released. Chaos erupted at the Glockton's backyard gender reveal when the cannon popped blue, indicating a baby boy. The husband's side of the family, all Bloods, immediately sprung into action by lighting that bitch up. During the scuffle, some of the confetti floated into a neighboring yard, causing additional shots to be popped off in that direction. Fortunately, no Henny was spilled during the ordeal.
One of trying to make it to work without yelling at a pedestrian. Pray for me, y'all. Still alive, still unemployed, but baby, I look G-O-D doing it. Oh my God, I'm not even late, I'm just dramatic. Y'all know I will risk it all for a good melon.
that male loser, at least you can fathom him having a wife at some point. Tim Walz, on the other hand, looks like he cries in bed after the deed. Good evening. This is White Liberal News, reminding you of what the left was when we had all the power and funding. Suddenly, groups that use violence to instill fear for political goals are a bad thing. For more on that, we go to our body positive hire.
Thanks, Karen. Thank you for this opportunity, too.
Colette, but you don't have to thank me every time. Let's just... Okay, let's...
This has been like my dream since the first episode I watched and ordered Popeye's chicken.
We have a lot of anti-American messaging to get through today.
Okay, so I found some people who are about to ignite a mostly peaceful protest against this restaurant owner for saying silence isn't violence.
We know words have no point other than to be used for power. So we changed the name of how we define things.
I don't know what that even means.
It's a concept only smart people like us can get. Basically, we make up our own definitions and terms.
Like how woman doesn't mean adult human female, right?
Yeah.
Excuse me, we see a 70-year-old man and we have the numbers.
Oh.
We are going to confront his
Colette?
fascism. One moment.
Could you explain why they're attacking a senior citizen?
Karen, they're fighting fascism against an old man who was wearing a Cincinnati Reds baseball cap. They tell me luckily it was 2-on-1, otherwise fascism would win.
That makes sense. He's wearing a red hat. Nothing about this behavior should make us reflect even a little.
So the dictator says Antifa is a terrorist group. So we changed our name to BISIS. Boom. Problem solved. The name is to honor the group that feels the same way we do about this country and to insert our sexuality into everything because that's what leftists have to do.
Karen, I'm not as educated as other liberals. I still think it's a crime to burn down a restaurant, so I'm going to leave before their protest begins. Back to you, Karen.
Thanks for the coverage, Colette. Now we go to a rich white actor who is brave enough to speak out in the way 95% of the industry speaks out.
Hey, John, would y'all let me fly the plane to Iran? I thought B2 was my apartment number. Oh my God, did I just start the war?
Introducing ChatEBT, the newest AI software limited only to 13% of people. ChatEBT isn't just another basic AI myth. It's built for real-life situations. Let's showcase an example of a man asking for food recommendations.
I'm starving, gang. Let's open ChatEBT. What should I eat tonight?
ChatEBT is fully aligned with real-time data, giving you the most accurate, up-to-date definitions anywhere.
Define child support.
Unless you ask it to define child support. But ChatGPT isn't just about words or recommendations now. It helps with your everyday tasks and repairs, giving you the best solutions in real time. Here's an example.
Dude, this thing is so annoying, man. ChatGPT, how do I fix this?
You don't, man.
Thank you all for your time today. We're excited for you to experience the future with ChatGPT. We'll see you soon.
Yo, what's up?
All right, everybody. Universal Black, what's up? Man, let's do some news. Yo, shout out to Quiet Storm. Super chat off the gate. What is this? $5 super chat. He said, documenting my Be a Man 3.2 project. Gotta lead the way for my group. Let's go and nerd out. Actually, we do gotta buy the numbers segment tonight. And I found that AI clip of the Japanese scientists being killed in the lab. We're gonna play that too for the AI segment. I don't know. Storm is watching from the clouds. Let me play his Keisha in boot camp, John.
Back. What the fuck you want?
Hi, ma'am. You've been drafted.
Yeah, fucking right, bitch. I ain't ever opening the damn door for no white person ever again. Fuck that dude, Brad or Billy or dipshit, whatever the fuck. Can't believe they got my pretty ass out here going to boot camp. They done got me all the way fucked up.
Michael Hunt, Chase A. Deke, or Attic. Sorry, Shanika Manning?
It's Shaniqua, bitch. I know damn well that you know who the fuck I am.
Excuse me, you need to calm the fuck down, Sharkeisha. This isn't your hood-ass ratchet nail salon. You ain't with your fucking Cheeto finger-licking bitches here, okay?
Damn, girl, this actually feels kind of good.
Niggas gay, niggas gay, niggas gay, niggas gay, niggas gay.
Hey, Shaniqua, I know we got off on the wrong foot, so we got you this new Nissan Altima to crash into the enemy with.
Brad ain't no fucking way. That's all mine? Fuck these motherfuckers. I'm getting the hell out of here. I need me some fried chicken, a new weave, and some nails. I ain't got no time to be saving the world and shit.
Shit. Got your ass.
That shit is hilarious, bro. All right, man, let's do some news. What we got at the top of the hour? Nobody believed it was going to happen, man. yeah, that Keisha goes to boot camp shit is hilarious, bro. Nobody believed it was going to happen, man, but it looks like Trump then brokered himself a peace deal with Israel and God and the Palestinians, at least temporarily. Can't be mad at that. So let's jump into it.
Bush heard war. Trump heard peace, and the world's celebrating. Trump decided to get in on the party too. He gave Israel a ring and said, "Your families are coming home."
Mr. President, we believe in you. We know you've done so much for us over the past, since you became a president.
God bless you, Mr. President. God bless America.
Thank you very much. You just take care of yourselves. The hostages will come back. They're all coming back on Monday.
All of them. Donald Trump spent all night in the Oval Office, putting the finishing touches on the Israeli-Palestinian peace deal. He walked into his quarterly cabinet meeting, and it was all love.
I don't know if one day perhaps the entire story will be told about the events of yesterday, but suffice it to say, it's not an exaggeration that none of it would have been possible without the President of the United States being involved.
Next week, the last remaining hostages will return to Israel and be reunited with their families.
At some point very soon, we are going to see 20 living human beings emerge from the darkness into the light for the first time in 2 years. I think it will go down as a historic moment in the history of our country, and something our country should be very proud of. that we have a president that's committed to not just peace, but to the human aspect of reuniting these families.
The front page of the Jerusalem Post, he's bringing them home. Lives will always be more important than land. You can get land back, but you can't get lives back. And guess what day tomorrow is? Nobel Peace Prize Day. And Trump hasn't been thinking about it at all.
I know this, that nobody in history has solved 8 wars in a period of 9 months. And I've stopped 8.
Yeah, I was talking to Saul about that. That's crazy. It still hasn't even been a year yet. And this dude has solved 8 wars. We still got Ukraine and Russia, but he almost did that one too. Zelensky blew it up the first time, and now Putin's blowing it up the second time. But bro, that's like a war a month. He ended this Israel thing in less than a year, and Biden was in there for an entire 4 years. I mean, whether you like Trump or not, man, the points on the board are crazy, bro. Hell yeah, Queens, New York, stand up. You feel me? Like, the points on the board are crazy.
8 wars. So that's never happened before. But they'll have to do what they do. Whatever they do is fine. I know this. I didn't do it for that. I did it because I saved a lot of lives.
Trump's not being selfish. If he can't get the Nobel, he'll settle for a one-way ticket to heaven.
Yo, I'm telling you, yo, if they snub him for the Nobel Prize, yeah, it's proof that all of these institutions that we admired all of these decades, that they're all political popularity clubs and contests and in crowds. And basically, they end up they're just like the mainstream media. All of these institutions are losing their validity and their veneer of prestige with the general public, America and globally. Everything's basically going the way of the Democratic Party down the toilet.
But that Nobel would look nice next to his multiple club championships at Mar-a-Lago. Or in the Oval, the gold matches the trim. Trump's not the only one who thinks he deserves it. Israel says, stop the count.
A grateful nation thanks President Trump for the return of the hostages, for the peace he has brought to the region. I call on the Nobel Committee to award President Trump the Nobel Peace Prize.
The Jewish farmers like that idea too. In the fields, they carved Nobel for Trump. Even Democrats are saying it's too big to rig.
I think the whole point of having a Nobel Peace Prize is for ending wars and promoting peace. And if he brings the Ukrainian war to its end, I'll be the Democrat leading the committee.
Every Democrat should be celebrating, right? Rashida Tlaib used to spend weekends banging pots and pans outside of the Capitol, screaming, free Gaza. Well, Trump just freed Gaza. And what did Tlaib say? Nothing. Not a tweet, not a press release, nothing. Makes you wonder if she really wanted to.
Bingo, exactly. He's taking the steam out of these protests. Everybody's in the streets with Palestine flags. What they gonna do now? I guess everybody just gonna double down on the migrants now, huh? Universal Black said once Powell was out, it's a wrap. Yo, we gotta get Powell the hell up out of here. You see on his way out, he started dropping the interest rates quarter basis points. Too little, too friggin' late. Storm says, notice how the Democrats want to make white noise on the shutdown. Trump said, excuse me, I'm working over here. Exactly. So, bro, spot on. Spot on. Yeah, very good observation. Yeah, them shut the government down, then try to make political hay over it. Trump goes and plays golf, that comes back and brokers a Middle East peace agreement between Hamas and Israel. Bro, he just, like I said, the points on the board is crazy, and the contrast The stark contrast is undeniable. Meanwhile, also, mind you, at the same time, he's got federal agents and ICE and National Guard deployed across the country, shutting crime down and getting these Tren de Aragua and violent immigrants out of the country, man. The guys are everywhere at once. Like I said, you ain't got to like them, man, but you got to at least look at the points on the board. It's crazy.
Free Gaza at all. Maybe she was more into the Intifada. Even the media is saying Trump pulled off the deal of the century.
Make no mistake, it looks like President Trump has actually pulled off something here that many presidents before him have failed to do.
It is a remarkable achievement, and President Trump most certainly deserves credit for his role. He has done this through diplomacy, pressure, and the sheer force of his personality and persistence.
There's no way that I can see that this would have been done without Trump's pressure in the final hours.
Biden couldn't pull this off because he had a nasty relationship with the Saudi prince. And after October 7th, didn't give Netanyahu enough room for revenge. Trump's first visit this term was to the Arab states, announcing a bonanza of billion-dollar deals. Then Trump joined Israel's attack on Iran, bunker busters. And then he said, all right, you two, knock it off, but still let Bibi have a free hand in Gaza. And then the prime minister miscalculated. He launched airstrikes against Hamas negotiators in Qatar. Qatar's an ally, a business partner. We have bases there. The Arab world was humiliated, and Trump was shocked. He summoned Netanyahu into the Oval, handed him a phone, and made him call Qatar and apologize.
Yo, okay. See, that's the backstory on that. I didn't know what the backstory on that with the Qatar was. Because remember, Trump's the first president to go to Qatar in American history. They laid out the red carpet for him. They gave, what did they give us, like $500 billion in investment, and also gave us what, that Boeing 77 or whatever. I didn't know this happened. So this is the actual photo. Look at Trump's face. Yo, this nigga's Tony Soprano. He got Netanyahu in here in the Oval Office with the press pool in there, like, call and say sorry. Call and say you're sorry. Call and say sorry. Yo, yo, that I didn't know that's the that was the backstory. Yo, Trump, big bully on the block, bruh. And the whatchamacallit, Netanyahu has walked over all pretty much past presidents. You know, and it was all the mainstream media talking points on the right, by the way. That Israel had Trump in his back pocket and Netanyahu was running the show and calling the shots. Apparently not. When he makes you get on the phone and apologize.
In front of the cameras. Some said it looked like a hostage video. Afterwards, Trump put out a 20-point peace plan and told Bibi, sign it or American support for Israel's done. When the Israelis were still trying to nitpick parts of the deal, Trump said, stop looking for loopholes. Netanyahu countered, how do we know Hamas isn't just bluffing? Trump said, why are you being so effing negative? And he told Hamas, sign it or I'm letting Netanyahu off the leash. That means 72 virgins by New Year's. Historians are saying Bush, the elder, thought this was impossible.
I said, this is the man who spent decades dealing with this. I said, Mr. President, do you think this ever gets resolved? And he said, God, I don't know. That's what one of the most experienced diplomatic presidents in American history thought.
And mind you, bro, this is footage from all over the world. This is in Israel. This is the same footage in Gaza with them all screaming Allahu Akbar. This is historic, bro. Like I said, you ain't gotta like the player, but respect the game, man. Points on the board like nobody's business.
I said it was an unknowable thing.
Why couldn't career diplomats get this done? Kerry, Hillary, Blinken. We were told Biden was a foreign policy savant. And now Democrats are asking, what happened?
Why do you think that this was not doable when President Biden was in office?
I think the
goofball in chief over here, Abby Phillips. She ain't got no fodder to throw today. She is clearly upset.
biggest problem that the President Biden had is there was no pressure from Qatar, from Turkey, from Egypt.
But I think by saying that, it's sort of an acknowledgement Trump has changed that dynamic.
The Middle East didn't respect Biden. It's never a good idea to tell the Arabs you're swearing off oil and going green, and then come calling back to the kingdom begging for more oil from a guy you called a killer. Leaving Afghanistan didn't help very much either. Trump was a lot different.
Obviously, the President of the United States, a New York real estate billionaire, one of the most famous New Yorkers in the world, has a lot of interaction with a lot of people who are very pro-Israel. I think that was an important set of experiences and life experiences that he brought to the table. He also, of course, knew one of the most famous Palestinians in the world, Chuck Schumer. And I think without that background...
With the help of...
Yo, Vance is gold right now. It's Vance's race to lose, basically, in 2028. He is the heir apparent.
Marco Rubio, Steve Witkoff, Jared Kushner, and of course, Donald Trump, all New York real estate developers, put pressure on both sides and got them to sign on the dotted line. Personal diplomacy, business investments, and deterrence, aka Operation Midnight Hammer, convinced all the parties to listen and follow 47's lead because they trusted him. And most importantly, they respected him. When Biden said don't, everyone did. But with Donald Trump, when he says don't, then you don't. And now that's the rule even for Israel. The world was used to the Obama-Biden way of doing things. They just throw money at the problem. And when they didn't get results, they just throw more money. Trump's always been about making money, not giving it away.
Gaza is going to be slowly redone. You have tremendous wealth in that part of the world by certain countries, and just a small part of that, what they make will do wonders for Gaza.
With the hostages freed and when the fighting stops, fingers crossed, an alliance between Israel and Saudi Arabia can finally gel, and the Abraham Accords can spread. The crippling of the Iranian nuclear program made that possible. That means we can pivot to the Pacific and back into the Western Hemisphere if the Middle East can make money, not war. We spend our money on America, not light it on fire policing a troubled desert. And who knows? Maybe we'll build a Trump Tower in Gaza overlooking the Mediterranean. The views are astonishing. Not a bad place to hang the Nobel.
Well, I wish I'd give it to him so we could stop talking about it because it is so obnoxious that he thinks he should get it.
Why can't we talk about the Nobel? Obama got one. That was a DEI prize. Even he admitted he didn't earn it.
Obama got a prize. He didn't even know what he got. He got elected, and they gave it to Obama for doing absolutely nothing but destroying our country. No, he was not a good president. The worst president was Sleepy Joe Biden, but Obama was not a good president.
Trump stopped 8 wars since January. 8. A guy who stops wars, do you call him Hitler? How do Democrats feel now, trying to arrest the man who made peace in the Middle East?
Yo, Trump putting it down. Can't even be mad. Let's hold on. Let's just jump to Letitia real quick, and then I'll pivot back to the Hannity segment. Let's get Letitia out of the way because this indictment couldn't have happened to a better person. Let me tell you. I put the poll in the chat. All right, we had 100% on that. Should Big Back Tish go to jail? She should. And that's what you get for being a Democratic puppet. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, the indictment came out from the grand jury today for Big Tish.
News has exclusively learned that the newly elected incoming New York Attorney General
plans to launch some sweeping investigations into President Trump, into his family. Letitia James tells NBC News, quote, "We will use every area of the law to investigate President Trump and his business transactions and that of his family as well." She plans to look into the following: Donald Trump's real estate holdings in New York, that June 2016 Trump Tower meeting with a Russian official, any government subsidies that Donald Trump received, whether he's in violation of the Emoluments Clause, the Trump Foundation.
My message is simple. No matter how powerful you are, no matter how much money you think you may have, no one is above the law. And it is my responsibility and my duty and my job to enforce it. The law is both powerful and fragile. And today in court, we will prove our case. I thank you all for being here. And again,
Man, Big Tish James.
I don't give a fuck what you think, bitch. I don't give a fuck what you think, bitch.
justice will prevail. Thank you.
Just say this to Big Tish James, the New York Attorney General. I dare you to try to continue your lawfare against President Trump and his second term, because listen here, sweetheart, we're not messing around this time, and we will put your fat ass in prison for conspiracy against rights. And I promise you that. So think long and hard before you want to violate President Trump's constitutional rights or any other American's constitutional rights. It's not going to happen again.
We've been warning people on the show, Mike, this isn't the same Trump administration. Stop messing around. Don't rig elections. Don't illegally vote. Don't try the funny business, because we know the team this time and they are not effing around.
Senator, I'm going to ask you to stand by for me for just 1 second. And I would like to come back to the senator to get her to react to this immediately. But we do need to get to this breaking news out of the White House with Kristen Holmes. Kristen, I understand we have some legal breaking news.
Yeah, we have just learned that New York Attorney General Letitia James, who obviously brought the charges and won against President Donald Trump, has just been indicted by the Department of Justice. This was a case that President Trump wanted to be brought. It's a mortgage fraud case. And it's also what led to the leaving of the U.S. attorney in the Eastern District of Virginia. Eric.
This is nothing more than a continuation of the president's desperate weaponization of our justice system. He is forcing federal law enforcement agencies to do his bidding.
Stop the cap. Stop the cap right now. Stop the cap. Stop the cap.
All because I did my job as the New York State Attorney General. These charges are baseless, and the president's own public statements make clear that his only goal is political retribution at any cost.
I don't give a fuck what you think, bitch. I don't give a fuck what you think, bitch.
Emotional damage.
Boy. So we got to talk about some great news, okay? I am proud to announce that nobody is above the law, including Trump deranged Democrats like Letitia James, who just got slapped with an indictment, a criminal indictment, presumably over mortgage fraud allegations, after the Trump DOJ presented their case to a grand jury. Okay, they decided there was enough evidence there to go ahead and indict Letitia James.
Man, I'm just going to say, no matter how they freeze frame them shots at Letitia James, she does not have a good side, bro. They can't get a good still picture of this woman, man. She got a face only a mother could love. You know what I mean?
Let's be nice. Yeah. Let's be nice. We don't have to go there. I mean, you're not wrong, but you didn't have to say it. I mean, good Lord. Let's be nice. Yeah.
Quiet Storm says, on the hypocrisy, you weaponized it in the Biden administration. Go to jail, fat ass.
Let's be nice. Yeah. Let's be nice. We don't have to go there. I mean, you're not wrong, but you didn't have to say it. I mean, good Lord.
Let's be nice.
Trump up there like,
is Wayne Brady gonna have to choke a bitch?
Yo, Lord of Brooklyn said James swears this some action, exactly, like this some action movie speech, exactamundo. Yo, Theo in the building, send her to Giselle. Hell yeah, man, send her to Giselle. Here's a drop for you, Theo.
We'll do it live.
Okay.
No. We'll do it live. Fuck it. Do it live.
Yo, salute. He said, I've been in the cloud and editing my streams. Hell yeah, MC Recovery. I done shared a couple of your streams, bro. Theo said, give me two, I'll make babies. Oh, I ain't got to use a SIP drop. She said she better start setting up a commissary account. Yo, well, Tish a big girl. I think she'd be all right up in the feds, man. Ain't nobody gonna know. Sensei in the building. He said, I hope we made you proud tonight in class. All right, let's go.
Okay, and as you guys should be aware, nobody should be surprised. The mainstream liberal media outlets like BS now, they're now boo-hoo-whine and cry foul, right? Over what is happening to Letitia James.
Hang on, I'm sorry to interrupt you. New York Attorney General Letitia James has been indicted. Andrew Weissman, your reaction?
I think that I want to sort of address the people who might look at this and say this is sort of tit for tat, that you see that in the Democratic administration, you see them going after Republicans, and this is Republicans going after Democrats. This is where, one, even if two wrongs don't make a right, even if that were true, but this is where facts matter. In the Letitia James case that she brought in New York, there was a trial. Facts were adduced. We all could look at those facts. And
that is a straight up. Yo, they just be getting these dudes to get on here and lie out of their keisters. Lord of Brooklyn said, now get AOC to rescue you, right, after she pushed you out by saying indict him for us. Exactly. They put the battery in her back. They put the... Dennis has said this a long time ago. Like I said, they put Keisha out in the front of all of this stuff and let her be the attack dog and the fall guy. No sympathy whatsoever on my part. Oh, Theo, here's another Japan news drop.
網膜の上に直接情報を映し出すスマートコンタクトレンズが来年2026年に発売されます。視力補正と拡張現実表示網膜の上に直接情報を映し出すスマートコンタクトレンズが来年2026年に発売されます。視力補正と拡張現実表示網膜の上に直接
Those are all AI. You said thanks, your streams are going up. Yeah, that's what's up. I've been sharing a couple of them. Yo, what up, Detroit? Salutations. Detroit 313 in the building.
Off by a star.
All right, let's go.
And Donald Trump had a chance, an opportunity to have due process and to hear all of that. Here, the process by which this has been undertaken, like the process that was undertaken with respect to James Comey, tells you that career people and even Trump-appointed people did not think that there was evidence. There were not facts that justified this. And I think a perfect symbol of the fact that this is different, that what we're seeing is different. It is not normal. It is not everyone.
It is normal. She got indicted by a grand jury. She didn't get indicted by Trump. Grand jury means you got to show the evidence, and the grand jury has to decide whether or not to indict. That is due process. That's also why it took so long for the indictment to come down, because the Justice Department needed qualitative enough evidence to convince a grand jury to indict. It's not rocket science.
Does it is to take a look at Abby Lowell. Abby Lowell is the defense lawyer for Letitia James. He was also the defense lawyer for Hunter Biden. In the Biden administration, the Department of Justice actually charged and convicted the sitting president's son.
Stop the cap. Stop the cap right now. Stop the cap. Stop the cap.
And then Biden went and pardoned his son and his entire family and gave him a pardon 14 years and retroactively.
And Abby Lowell represented him and defended him and lost that trial.
Yeah.
And he is now defending Letitia James. And to me, when people say it's tit for tat, it's like, no, in prior administrations, and by the way, Republican and Democratic administrations under normal times, which I agree with Mark, are gone. Under normal times in those administrations, there is no politics that is supposed to be considered. I'm not saying it's never considered, and there aren't. There's aberrations. No, it's that's not how you're built.
Right. Andrew, let me bring Carol Leonnig back in. Carol Leonnig broke the news today exclusively that a grand jury was hearing evidence against Tish.
Yo, all of this fake outrage.
Stop the cap. Stop the cap right now. Stop the cap. Stop the cap.
How can we be surprised? I've said it before, the level of non-journalism and blatantly lying to the American public, it's nauseating. Storm says, I really think Joe Biden was the mastermind for those mass amounts of pardons at the end of the presidency. Of course, because it was auto pen, and apparently Biden was a vegetable.
James, we have now heard the news that New York Attorney General Letitia James has been indicted. Carol Leonnig.
Yeah, a few minutes ago, we confirmed that she was indicted by a grand jury in Alexandria of at least one count of bank fraud. Nicole.
Yo, don't they sound mad disappointed? Oh, they sound mad disappointed. I love it.
And the return was rather speedy. 4 o'clock was when the grand jury was supposed to come back out and present their information to Halligan. There was a 4-person in the courtroom along with Halligan, and they released their decision. I will tell you, there's one other really interesting element to this that I'm hearing from sources, which is that this grand jury made its decision and listened to the presentation on its very first day in the box. In other words, grand juries sit sometimes for weeks and weeks. This grand jury was impaneled today, and this was their first case and their first decision.
That the evidence against Letitia James.
Yo, so basically, they're doing all. They're saying that this was one of the quickest grand jury indictments. It only took them 45 minutes to be like, "Yup, indict her. She's guilty." So what's the problem? It's the grand jury that approved the indictment. You need it. Whoever said Fauci needs to be in prison, that presidential, should be, there's a good chance they might be working on that.
Which, by the way, they never actually go into detail about the evidence, right? They never do that, okay, for whatever reason, okay? I was told that the evidence is so weak that prosecutor after prosecutor said, well, see, we're not going to touch this, right? We can't touch this because the evidence is so weak, right? This is what I was told, okay? Just for the prosecutor that did take the case to the grand jury to basically get an indictment immediately, right? That is how strong the evidence is, because again, she signed a power of attorney. We're talking about, again, she signed a legal document as the Attorney General of New York, stating unequivocally that she resides in Virginia, that this is her primary home, right? I don't understand how you get around that, right? How do you get around that?
No, it's definitely mortgage fraud. I worked the mortgage fraud division when I was in banking for a while. I was pretty much in all department, but I was in the fraud department. And the mortgage fraud is no joke, but primarily, and even before that, with underwriting. I mean, in underwriting, if the 1003 is filled out wrong and you've put the wrong occupancy information, it's doubly the difference between an investment property, a second home, or primary residence. The underwriting standards are less stringent. You get a better interest rate. You get lower insurance. It's a plethora. Like I said, it's a completely different risk profile. And the underwriting and guideline requirements are completely different. That's why it's fraud. And usually during underwriting, if we find other properties via property search and name search like that, we roll all the way back to the original 1003, and the underwriter's got to be like, well, explain this property, and the whole deal could get tossed out from that. Because then what happens if you underwrite that way as well? But the other thing is, the other issue is, whatever bank she went through, they got a bunch of unsaleable loans on the secondary market on their books now, because it's a fake underwrite. They did a primary residence underwrite on something that was an investment property or a secondary home. So that's a whole nother ball of wax. Whoever is the underwriter that signed off on those properties, they're screwed. Because they got an unsaleable loan on the bank's books, and bad underwrites stick with underwriters forever. Let alone if it was somebody who signed off it and had a DE. That's a direct endorsement power. So it's underwriters had me scary when I was in escrow. They were watching my bank accounts like a hawk. Yeah. Bruh.
Not only that, she has a pattern of behavior of doing this. So again, it was obvious to me that she's guilty. Of course she's guilty. I'm not surprised by the indictment. But again, these people told us when Trump got indicted, see, no, you don't understand. He got indicted by a grand jury, right? Therefore, it's legit. You got to just let it play out in court, right? It's legit. There's no weaponization here. Now, all of a sudden, they're boo-hoo-whine and cry. Apparently, it is very easy to get a grand jury indictment, right? Apparently, it's super easy. You can indict a ham sandwich, apparently, right?
Joy, again, our investigation currently is civil in nature. It is not criminal. In the event that we are...
These are the flashback clips of her so happy to be going after Trump. Look at this, man. This country has been held hostage by liberal Karens and big backians from Big Backistan, like for the last 8 years, man. It's time to America. We are so back, baby. We are so back.
Denzel, before you leave, can you hit us off with that King Kong line?
King Kong,
I'm putting cases on all you. Can you curse on? You can't curse on it, can you?
No, you can't.
I'm putting cases. You'll be playing basketball in Pelican Bay when I get shoot program, nigga. 23-hour lockdown. You think you can do this to me, Shaq? You think you can do this to me?
Uncover any activity or conduct. If in the event that we uncover any conduct. Oh yes.
But will you go ahead with
our
the civil
General
suits? Oh.
Yes, our civil suit will continue, whether he's president or not. And so after January 20th at 12 o'clock, our investigation will continue, Joy.
There's no way a potential pardon for Trump or his three eldest kids would shield them from anything you're investigating. Am I right? That's what you just said, I believe.
Correct. He cannot pardon himself. What he could do is step down and allow the Vice President Pence, to pardon him. In all likelihood, I suspect that he will pardon his family members, his children, his son-in-law, and individuals in his administration, as well as some of his close.
Damn, so this is all the way from the first term of his presidency. They literally been going after this dude for an entire decade, man. Retribution is a beautiful thing. Lock them all up.
Associates. And then I suspect at some point in time, he will step down and allow the vice president to pardon him. Now, it's important to understand he is pardoned from federal crimes, but he is not pardoned from state crimes. Last year, I introduced a bill in the state legislature which would close the pardon loophole so that individuals such as the president of the United States would not evade justice. It's important that we have this check on presidential powers. And in the legislature, the state legislature, I'm so happy they passed that bill, and it is now the law in the state of New York. President Trump cannot avoid justice in the great state of New York.
Yo, I love to see a big Pakistan Keisha cut down the size. No pun intended. Theo Waff says she can continue her investigation from jail.
Denzel, before you leave, can you hit us off with that King Kong line?
King Kong, I'm putting cases on all you. Can you curse on? You can't curse on it, can you?
No, you can't.
I'm putting cases. You'll be playing basketball in Pelican Bay when I get shoot program, nigga. 23-hour lockdown. You think you can do this to me, Shaq? You think you can do this to me?
The Quiet Storm, yeah, you're right. You said Trump never had to pardon any of his family, and they aren't in jail. Yo, exactly. And then on top of that, they investigated all of it. This is what I'm saying, bro. If it's 10 years of investigations and nobody's in jail, that means there's nothing there. And I keep reminding everybody, Epstein files were in possession of the Biden administration for the entire term, and they didn't stick Trump with nothing Epstein, because there was nothing there. You don't think if there was something there with the Epstein shit, they would have hung him out to dry with that? No News says, doesn't she lose her position if she goes to federal prison? Yeah, and she loses her law license. Man, this is the season Akeisha's taking L's, bro. I ain't even gonna hold you, man. Like, it's nice to see these big backs get cut down to size, man. They was really feeling they self-talking reckless, bro. Really feeling they self-talking reckless. Let's do a quick pivot. I kept saying I was gonna play that AI clip about the find that AI about the AI robots in Japan killing all those scientists in the labs, and this is old. So I found it. I'm dropping the link in the chat. So let's play that real quick, and then we'll pivot to some more news, and then we'll do a by the number section. I got as you know, we need 7 Senate seats for the midterms. So this is a new data set with current projection numbers for the Senate. Let's see if we pick up those seats. Let's see if we pick up those seats that we need. So there's the link to it. Now let's play this AI segments, and this is AI apocalypse. Will machines destroy humanity?
At a top robotics company in Japan this week, 4 robots being developed for military applications killed 29 humans in the lab. And they did it by shooting what he called metal bullets. I didn't know there was any other kind. The scariest part is that lab workers deactivated 2 of the robots, took apart the 3rd, but the 4th robot began restoring itself and somehow connected to an orbiting satellite to download information about how to rebuild itself even more strongly than before. And this next sentence is a quote. I'm writing this down. I've been doing this for years. This is serious, Linda, but you're never going to hear about this in the news. July, August of 2017. In the prior year, I had been communicating with a Marine who had retired from the Marines but was working special forces. And he had been communicating to me about a number of ET-related revelations, secrets that he and a team of special forces were involved with. And so he had kept in touch with me, usually through short texts, or every once in a while, he would call and say, you're tapped, I'm tapped, I'm only going to speak for, and it would be like 30 seconds or a minute, and then hang up. And I understood why, and that was what we were doing. Well, it was in August of 2017. The phone rang, I picked it up. I knew his voice. Can't stay on the line long, but I want you to know that this week, which would have been the second week of August 2017, in Japan, 29 humans were killed in a laboratory that was producing militarized robots by the Japanese for warfare. And then he went on to explain what he had learned, because they're in these units, that something like that would happen, they would receive information. And he said that the story was the 4 militarized robots were being made to be autonomous warriors. And that they don't know why, but the 4 rebelled or acted autonomously, and as they acted autonomously, they killed 29 humans in this lab. And whoever was left on the human side began pulling, this is the way he said, they began pulling the robots apart. They got 2 of them completely disassembled, were working on the 3rd, and then the analysis later was what happened with the 4th. The 4th was communicating with a satellite that they were teaching these militarized robots how to communicate with the satellites to get information on missions. And that the 4th robot was now extending up to the satellite and was searching for information about how to make itself stronger to take on, apparently, the remaining humans. What did they do exactly to that 4th? I don't know, but I understand they took it apart. Would they ever put them back together? So now, we're up to a point in August of 2017 where I'm hearing a story that is shocking, and I would say is like a warning that hits you out of the blue, that if in August of 2017, 4 militarized robots being taught to be autonomous could do that in a lab, it made Elon Musk, only 2 months before, in June, at the Rhode Island Governors Association meeting, there were 33 governors from the United States, and Elon Musk was one of the invited speakers. And when they sat him down in a chair and they started asking him his perspective as being head of Tesla and SpaceX, he said, I think that the greatest problem that scares me the most is artificial intelligence. And he said statements like, people don't understand that the robots, they are not going to need sleep. They're not going to need sick days. They're going to be able to do everything better, faster, more efficiently, and smarter than humans. And then he went on and he said, I am convinced that artificial intelligence right now is an existential threat to this planet.
Yeah, told you I had it. Because when I got it and I went back to look for it later, it had disappeared from the internet. This was in 2017. It's almost 10 years ago. Creepy stuff, right? Creepy, creepy stuff. So that's my AI segment for the evening. All right, let's jump to Hannity real quick, and then we'll do some by the numbers. We're at the 1 hour and 7 minute mark. Oh, and then I want to do a quick story from Philadelphia on the effects of the spread of misandry. Because we're against misandry here in this space, and I got a news story that shows you how it spills over. So let's do a rundown. Let's do some Hannity and do a rundown of this of Trump's stellar week.
Attorney General and devout Trump hater Letitia James once proudly stated, quote, no individual, organization, entity, or elected official is above the law, period. Today, those words finally rang true. Just hours ago, New York's top law enforcement official was in fact indicted by a grand jury in Virginia on bank fraud charges. Now remember, she ran on a platform. She's going to get Trump, go after one man, one family, one organization. And then once elected, she cooked up a wild civil case against the president, asking a New York judge to penalize Trump for supposedly, interestingly enough, overvaluing his Florida mansion, Mar-a-Lago, on a fully paid off bank loan. Everyone got paid back. And by the way, she went with an $18 million valuation, and it's closer to $1 billion, $1.5 billion. But according to federal prosecutors, it was James who was committing mortgage fraud herself in 23 in order to secure a better loan and better loan terms on a second property. We're going to give you all the details coming up. Greg Jarrett, Jonathan Turley, they will break all this down tonight. But we begin with peace in the Middle East, all thanks to a groundbreaking peace deal from the White House. Now, this deal is so major, so historic, that even the left-wing legacy media mob, they are even praising President Trump tonight. According to MSDNC, Democrats, well, they could not have even dreamed of accomplishing this under Joe Biden. Take a look.
The deal that President Trump is announcing played a key part in negotiating. It is a significant change. This war was blocked for 2 years. President Biden, who preceded him, was unable to find a way to stop it. President Trump found that way by being tough on both sides. And he'll take a victory lap for sure over the next few days, but it's deserved. There's no way that I can see that this would have been done without Trump's pressure in the final hours.
Now think of that. That was on MSDNC, a network dedicated to smearing, slandering Trump for an entire decade, peddling lies and conspiracy theories, one after another. That's not all. So-called journalist Martha Raddatz, who literally wept on air when Donald Trump won. Even now, she is singing his praises on ABC Disney. Take a look.
There's no question that if this goes as planned, if we see those remaining hostages freed and Israel begin its withdrawal, it is a remarkable achievement, and President Trump most certainly deserves credit for his role. He has done this through diplomacy, pressure, and the sheer force of his personality and persistence. He dispatched diplomats again and again, made threats just in the last few days to Hamas, saying again, if they did not sign the deal, all hell would break loose. And they had the bombing of Iran as an example of that. But perhaps most importantly, he pushed Benjamin Netanyahu in ways his predecessor and others have not.
All right, let's be very clear tonight. We're not cherry picking clips. On every single network, there was wall-to-wall praise for President Trump. Take a look.
Yeah, I just need to underscore what an enormous moment this is for so many people in this region, for the people of Gaza who have endured 2 years of war, for the families of these 48 remaining hostages who have endured 2 years of absolute agony. This is a watershed moment. President Trump announcing that the first phase of this plan will indeed move forward.
And it's a momentous day. There's not much good news in the world. This is great news. I am trying to hold it together, honestly.
Make no mistake, it looks like President Trump has actually pulled off something here that many presidents before him have failed to do.
We've heard it again and again from a number of people today, really giving credit to President Trump for getting this deal over the finish line. What are you hearing from your sources with regard to President Trump's role in getting both parties to sign off on at least the first phase of this peace plan?
Well, certainly this is an enormous moment for the world, but also for this administration.
I think this is news to celebrate. This is a huge accomplishment by the Trump administration.
This is a major breakthrough and a huge accomplishment for the president. After months of deadlock, the hostages set to finally come home.
Let's see how long it takes for them to get back to, let's see, racist, fascist, Nazi, democracy in peril. Now, at the beginning of his second term, President Trump vowed that success would be his greatest revenge. He was telling the truth. Now, the peace deal will go down in history as a turning point in the entire Middle East, and it was President Trump. He did make it happen through the sheer force of his will. And now take a look at your screen. He's bringing them home. All the hostages will be returned. And meanwhile, U.S. personnel already stationed at Central Command will monitor the peace agreement in coordination with other international forces that are on the ground. It's amazing news that even, well, fake news CNN forced Trump-hating Congressman Dan Goldman to actually credit the president. Nice to see. Take a look.
Why do you think that this was not doable when President Biden was in office?
I think the biggest problem that the President Biden had is there was no pressure from Qatar, from Turkey, from Egypt. They were actually facilitating in many ways what was going on. And that is really ultimately how it all came together.
So, I mean, but I think by saying that, it's sort of an acknowledgement Trump has changed that dynamic.
Absolutely. Yeah, no, I think
absolutely. That. I mean, he's clearly.
I don't know how he, and I think there's that remains to learn.
Yo, fact, Theo. He said, free the hostages, put Keisha in jail. This is a success. Spot on. And Universal Black. He said, and all this done under a government shutdown, which is even crazier. Right. So, like, exactly. It's the juxtapose, guys. You got the Democrats shutting the government down, supporting Trinidad Venezuelan gangs and child traffickers. You got Brandon Johnson calling for a civil war, and Trump has got an indictment. All while Trump gets same week gets an indictment on Letitia James and brokers a Middle East peace agreement with Hamas and Israel. Juxtapose is just like, once again, to my point, points on the board. You got one party doing absolutely nothing and going out of their way to destroy the country, and this guy's bringing order, locking up all the bad actors in the swamp, and brokering peace deals all over the globe. Like we said, this guy stopped eight wars that have been going on for generations, and it's not even a year in. What is this, the 9th month? That's like ending one war every month. Unreal. Saul with the $5 super chat. He said, "LOL, using the Iran incident to drag nuts," and that is an example of exactly that peace through strength. Like after Iran, nobody want any problems. After Iran, everybody
Mr.
was.
President, why are you placing these new tariffs on Canada? What are you, some kind of dictator from the Middle East?
A dictator from the Middle East? Hey, relax, guy. I'm just your average Joe. Take a rest.
The people of Canada will not be devalued like this.
Hey, come on. You don't want me to bomb you like I did Iraq.
I thought you just bombed Iran. Mr.
Denzel, before you leave, can you hit us off with that King Kong line?
King Kong, I'm putting cases on all you. Can you curse on it? You can't curse on it, can you?
No, you can't.
I'm putting cases. You'll be playing basketball in Pelican Bay when I get shoot program, nigga. 23-hour lockdown. You think you can do this to me? Shaq, you think you can do this to me?
Man, fuck all you hoes. Fuck you and your mammy and your granny too. And fuck all you hoes. I'm sick of this shit. Fuck all you hoes. And fuck all you. Don't give a damn, bitch, what you wanna do. And fuck all you hoes.
Yeah, man. What we got? Yeah, facts. Yeah, it seems trumpetries more when the federal workers aren't in his way. Exactly. Fire them. Exactly. The government shutdown, he actually get more work done. It is almost as if the government is actually in his way. Let's go.
About what prompted that change, but I do agree. Yes, somehow, some way that changed.
I don't think Biden can have a conversation longer than 5 seconds. Anyway, unfortunately, most Democrats still don't have the courage to give Trump any credit. Obama, Schumer, others released disjointed statements praising the peace and the deal without mentioning President Trump. As if what? It appeared out of thin air? Also, shocking silence from so many squad members who have been loudly screaming of late the war needed to stop. You would think they'd be happy today. And tonight, on another front, congressional Democrats, they're continuing to play petty politics with no end in sight, shutting down our government to appease their radical base. Schumer declaring that during the shutdown, quote, every day gets better for us. Well, I wonder if Americans and our military not getting their paychecks feel the exact same way, Chuck. Now, of course, no one is buying the Democrats' terrible messaging. This morning, Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries called out to his face on CNBC. Take a look.
There was an election, and the Republicans were put in a position where they were able to pass the big, beautiful bill, or you call it the big, ugly bill. To then say, we don't like any of that, so we're going to shut down the government until you take back all the things that you duly passed through legislation. If Republicans had tried to do that to the Inflation Reduction Act or the any of the acts that Biden and that administration have passed, if they said we're going to shut down the government because we don't like any of those things you did, we're going to not pay our military, we're going to, not allow the government to reopen until you do what we want. After an election where the American people put Democrats in power, you'd be going crazy.
Take a look at the contrast. Democrats, they are busy blocking a clean, continuing resolution that would simply fund the government at current levels in order, what? to fight for free health care for illegals and refund PBS, NPR. At the same time, Donald Trump has been very busy putting together an unprecedented Middle East peace deal that will save countless lives and hopefully alter the course of human history in that region and around the world. This is a moment of vindication for the president, but more importantly, it will make the entire world a better, a safer place.
One even more.
All right, bet. Let me I want to do, this is a quick one. I found this right before I went on, and this is from the local Philadelphia news. This happened in Abington, so this is actually right outside of Philadelphia in the county. But you know, we talk about the deleterious effects of this blatant misandry being spread, that's been spread for all of these years. And you know, the going trope is the violent black men, et cetera, et cetera. But we know there are more black women killing black men statistically, and it's been an ongoing thing, and those numbers are on the rise. This one is a teen girl charged in the fatal shooting of her ex-boyfriend. This story is important because girl's only 15 years old. And these are the real world effects of the misandry that we make content against in this space.
Girl is in jail charged with murder. Police say she shot and killed her 17-year-old ex-boyfriend Monday afternoon in the Jenkintown section of Abington Township, Montgomery County. An autopsy revealing that he died from a gunshot wound to his head. Investigators say that 15-year-old suspect says the shooting was an accident. Action News reporter Leland Pender live for us at the Abington Police Department with an update on this investigation. Leland, what are you learning about this shooting?
Well, Gray, as you mentioned, that boy tragically shot in the head. Police say he died there at the scene. Authorities also saying the even younger shooter allegedly admitted to panicking, leaving the scene and not calling for help. It was a typical Monday afternoon in Jenkintown until 14-year-old 𝐂𝐈𝐒 Grimes Jr. spotted police cars outside his building and called a friend.
He heard shots in the building and then people were screaming.
Police say 15-year-old Precious Hamilton of Crumlin is now in custody, accused of shooting and killing her 17-year-old ex-boyfriend, Basim Baker, inside his home on Old York Road.
It's definitely like something that you wouldn't expect in this area.
Officers responded to the home shortly after 5 p.m. where they found Baker unresponsive. Prosecutors say his mother discovered him dead on the bedroom floor. In the criminal complaint, Baker's mother told investigators Hamilton had been at the home all weekend. Baker left the two to run errands around 2:40 on Monday and returned around 4:30, discovering her son around 5. Police say they obtained video showing Hamilton leaving the building by herself just before 3:30. The complaint states Hamilton picked up the firearm in a rapid fashion to pack her belongings and was surprised when the revolver discharged, striking Baker instantly. Detectives also found this photo of Hamilton holding a gun from a previous day on Baker's iPad.
It's damn near impossible for a revolver to just go off. It's damn near impossible.
Feel as that kids shouldn't be near weapons.
Police say they have not recovered the gun, but say that Hamilton admitted to stealing it from an acquaintance 2 months ago.
Parents should be watching their children a little bit more closely.
Now, Precious Hamilton, just 15 years old, is being charged as an adult. She faces third-degree murder, involuntary manslaughter, and several other charges tonight. We're live here in Abington Township. Leland Pender for Action News at 10.
And I'm with it. Lock that Keisha up. I'm trying to tell you, it's a new day. Examples need to be made. It's open season to kill black men, no matter what age, and there's no repercussions or anything else like that. Examples need to be made. I'm a firm believer in collateral damage. Reality of the world. All right, let's do some by the numbers and get the hell up out of here. We're at the 1 hour, 25 minute mark. And I'm actually anxious to see what these new projections look like, because midterms coming up 2026, and there's a very good chance we're going to hold on to the House, might even gain some seats. The big issue at hand is the Senate. We need 7 Senate seats to gain a voting majority. As you see, just with this government shutdown, we got a bill to pass the House. It's dead on arrival in the Senate because we only have 53 Senate seats, with all Republicans voting yes. That puts us at 53. You need 60. You need 60 votes to pass the bill. We got 3 Republicans to vote with us on the budget bill to not shut the government down. But we were short 4 Democrat votes. So if we get these 7 Senate seats, we'll be able to pass legislation through the House and the Senate. So that means a lot of Trump's executive orders could be codified into law, and we'll be on very good footing and standing moving into the next presidential election cycle. And we're hoping advance runs. So we're looking at a continuation of some of these MAGA policies. So this by the numbers is by Red Eagle Politics, one of the channels we look for new polling. This is from 48 hours ago. This is on the midterms. This is the updated 2026 Senate map prediction. Let's go. Oh shit. Hold on. Look at this. StreamYard trying to screw me. Let me remove it and then add it again. Screw you, StreamYard. I'll do what I want. Let's try it again. Bang, there we go. Let's go.
For the midterms this month, and here we go. And there are 35 Senate seats up for grabs. Republicans currently hold a 53-47 majority in the United States Senate. And there's a big question. Can Democrats retake it at all, given the fact that, yet again, they have a map that is not favorable for them whatsoever? They're going to need to run the table.
Oh, look at that. MC Recovery. And Relapse with the $2 sticker. Let's do a quick drop before we get into this by the numbers, man. What we got? What we got? What we got? What we got?
Am I the meanest?
Sure enough.
Am I the prettiest?
Sure enough.
Am I the baddest mofo low down around this town?
Sure enough.
Well, who am I?
Sure enough.
Who am I?
Sure enough.
I can't hear you.
Sure enough.
Shit. Got your ass.
All right, let's go.
And then they're going to need to win like 2 more seats in order to get the job done. And it's just not looking very likely at this stage in the game. But regardless, we're going to fill this map out. We're going to start off with the safe states, the states that are going to go 10% for either party. And then we're going to work our way down and fill out the rest of this map. But first, really quickly, guys, I have to tell you about my good friends over at Allegiance Gold. While the media is obsessing about Trump's tariff, something big points or more, we have Idaho, Montana, Wyoming, South Dakota, Nebraska, Kansas, Oklahoma, Arkansas, Louisiana, which, watch that primary there, could get interesting, Mississippi, Alabama, Tennessee, Kentucky, West Virginia, South Carolina, and Florida. All of those states are going to be going in the safe Republican column, and that would get the Republicans to 47 out of the gate, while the Democrats are down at 34. Now, to the Democrats' credit, 10 points or more, they'll get Oregon, they'll get Colorado, they'll get Illinois, Delaware, New Jersey, probably. I know the state's getting closer, but Cory Booker shouldn't really have a problem. Rhode Island, Massachusetts. I think that's it for the safe Democrat seats here. So already you have the Republicans at 47. The Democrats are down there at 41. Now, here's the problem for the Democrats. You have several states here that voted for Donald Trump by 12 points or more, essentially 4 states that qualify for that. And I think all of them are going to be going in the likely Republican column. Ohio, Sherrod Brown might be running, but again, the guy doesn't have the incumbency advantage anymore. He's facing a tough candidate who's the incumbent this time around, and he's just put in a really weird position. Very overrated candidate. Attacks won't stick. How exactly are you going to attack your opponent for being too pro-Trump while also trying to have to appeal to Trump voters to win? Doesn't really work. Didn't work for him last time. It's going to work even less now. Husted is getting endorsements that Brown even got in 2024 from certain unions, so I think it's pretty much over as it stands now. But Democrats will dump money into that race, try to get it within like 5, and maybe they will, but they're not going to win it. So we'll go to Iowa. And this is a state where Democrats just are very delusional always for some weird reason or another about Iowa. It never happens. Donald Trump won this state by like 14 points. Democrats actually thought that they were going to win because of a poll that was like an obvious push poll before the election. It was a total disaster, and it's just not a state that they're going to compete in, especially because Republicans, Joni Ernst, she's kind of weak. She's out of the picture. Ashley Hinson is the new, I guess you would say, presumptive nominee at this point, because it doesn't seem like she has a lot of opposition. And I think she's going to go out there and win by close to 10, if not more than 10. You could even push it to safe as we get closer to the election. So Texas is the next state here, and it's going to be an interesting primary. Is Ken Paxton going to be able to withstand the onslaught of ads and the recent scandal coming from the establishment and John Cornyn? I don't know. Either way, I think Paxton probably would win a general if he got to the general. I just don't know if he's going to get to the general, and it would probably be a closer race because the Democrats would pour a bunch of money into that race. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens in that primary. But regardless, it seems like Allred or Tallarico, who's basically straight Pete Buttigieg, but somehow even more smarmy and just not likable. And then you have the potential of Beta running another time, jumping in that primary. I don't know if he does, but that would be enough to get Republicans to 50. Alaska would be enough to get him to 51. Mary Peltola, she seems like she's running, but I don't think it's going to matter. Again, strong incumbent senator facing somebody who is a fake moderate Democrat who was an incumbent in a lesser important office that just lost. Doesn't really work out in your favor too much. You don't see a lot of comebacks. You're not going to see one in Ohio. You're not going to see one in Alaska. So, if it's at the House level, it's one thing because some of the House races go back and forth and there's also just so many of them. But at the Senate level, a little bit of a different ball game there. So that's it for the likely red seats. They're already at 51. Let's now focus on the likely Democrat seats. Minnesota, who knows who's going to be their nominee? Things could get interesting if they put up one of these crazy people. I don't know if they will. New Mexico, you probably will see that one hold in the Democrat column there by over 5 points, maybe less than 10. Same thing with Virginia with Mark Warner. So that leaves us with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 seats right here and need to be filled out. And I think we're going to start in the state of Maine because this is getting interesting. Susan Collins is an electoral juggernaut. We know that every time they talk about a prominent challenger running against her, she outruns all expectations and blows them out of the water. Now, it does seem as if on the Democrat side, you very may well be seeing Janet Mills jump in, who's their governor, but she's not all that well liked. I don't even know if she's getting through a primary, but she's also kind of old, and she's had a friendship with Susan Collins for a while, as a lot of Maine Democrats have, which is kind of interesting. I don't know why she's particularly jumping in, if she is, as many reports have indicated, but I think Collins, as of right now, is the favorite. I think things can change, but I haven't seen enough evidence that would show that somebody like a Graham Plattner, who's very much a far left Bernie bro, is trying to masquerade as like a Jerry Golden style Democrat with rhetoric. I don't think it's really going to work when you have a lot of material for advertisements there. So New Hampshire, that's another interesting race where you got Sununu running most likely, but it's not Chris Sununu, it's John Sununu, who's more conservative than Chris Sununu. At the same time, I do think that it's going to be a tight race. Chris Pappas, no electoral juggernaut by any means, but not a horrible candidate. He has a lot of name recognition. It's going to go down the wire. It's going to be close. I've seen polls with both of these candidates up. I don't know what I would exactly say. It's New Hampshire. I don't know if that helps or hurts in a midterm year. When it comes down to these high info voters, maybe it helps. I think it's still going to be very close. I would give the Democrats the edge. Now, Michigan's a little bit of a different story because you have a Republican who's relatively inoffensive and somebody like a Mike Rogers who is running again, and he's not facing somebody like a Slotkin this time around. In fact, he's likely going to be facing dollar store Slotkin, the psychotic Haley Stevens, who nobody likes, but the Democrat establishment is forcing through, or far left Marxist Abdul El Sayed. That would probably lead to an even larger overperformance. I would pick Rogers to win against either one of those candidates. McMorrow seems a bit intriguing on the Democrat side. She still is relatively far left, but she, I guess you would say keeps it more together than the other candidates. Still, I don't really know if she's getting enough support to go out there and win that race. I think Michigan, as of right now, I'd even dare to put that in the tilt Republican column. We'll see what happens. But North Carolina, this is an interesting one where you have Roy Cooper running. He's a Democrat. He's the strongest Democrat they could put up for this seat. Republicans are zooming right in the voter registration data. That's true. Michael Whatley is running as the Republican nominee, or he will likely get that nomination. And he will have a lot of money because he's a hell of a fundraiser and is not really controversial. Now, it's interesting to see how this race is going to play out because Roy Cooper, he's not polling too well for somebody that's kind of like created this like image of himself as like this moderate governor in the South, more of like a folksy type of person, when in reality, the policies are more far left. You have this whole incident that took place on the train in Charlotte, which he was kind of responsible for letting this lunatic out of prison for numerous occasions when he should have been locked up. And it's not going to be a very good look for him at the end of the day. And in a close race, in a close state, in a very hotly contested election, I think that would be enough to make the difference in the world. I really do. Now, Georgia, John Ossoff voting to shut down the government. It's not really the best look for him. Republicans haven't really found a candidate either. I think it's going to be a close race. Georgia and North Carolina, two states where a midterm electorate still favors the Republican Party, unlike in places like Wisconsin, for example. I think that the state of Georgia is probably going to go to a runoff, and I will tell you who wins that when the time comes. We'll make it a bright purple. Looks better on the map. So anyways, guys, Republicans with 54, Democrats with 45, possible shot to go to 46 with the runoff. But it's like, this is actually not very good news for the Democrats because, yeah, you have pickup opportunities in North Carolina and Maine, but you also have to defend Michigan, New Hampshire, Georgia, and this whole blue wave, it's definitely not hitting the Senate. It's really not. And Republicans are inching closer and closer to that magic number of 60, and that's not really a good thing for them. And even if they do manage to run the table, it's still not enough for them. So anyways, guys, thanks for watching this video. Like this video down below, comment down below, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell for notifications so you never miss another video.
All right, guys, that is by the numbers. So based on this projection, we actually only pick up 1 seat. So that puts us at 54. I mean, no, 40. No. Yeah, 44. No, 54. We're at 53. We need 60. All right. So yeah, we need those 7 goddamn seats. Because if this shutdown is of any indication of the way the Democrats are going to play, because they got no other plays. It's just like they're going to be stalemating everything in the Senate moving forward. They're never going to give us those. They're never going to give us any more news clips we can squeeze in. All right. Yeah. Actually, there are. Let's find another clip. Hold on for a second. All right, you guys are in here tonight, huh? I was going to be like, I'm not going to hold you guys and whatchamacallit, let you guys run. But no, let's hold on for a second. By the numbers threat, and where's my Pam Bondi? Let me pull up another clip. Oh, she's got some extra shit in the trigger. He said, Theo said, can you imagine all the lips crying if we get the 7 seats? Bro, if we get the 7 seats, it's a wrap. Like I said, because the biggest thing is us trying to codify all these Trump wins. Everything's been done by executive order. Everything's been done by executive order. Everything's been done by executive order. Us being able to codify a lot of these executive orders into law via legislation, it's a wrap. And right now, even with the case law that's out, Trump appears to be winning most of these cases. He appears to be winning most of these cases with the Supreme Court. All of the pushback from the judicial branch are coming from lower court judges. So, like I said, Trump's got all the wins out the back, walking into the midterms. My thing is you can't underestimate the lunacy of the left. The trend lines say after the Charlie Kirk incident that the Democrats are hemorrhaging voters via voter registration and the like, which I would like to think that's true. They are definitely not. They're definitely not top of mind, but nonetheless, it's all these old liberal boomers. Saul sent me this MC Tish. That's funny as hell. All right, bet. Let's do these super chats, and I got something loaded up. But hold on, let's play this real quick because this is hilarious. Red Sigma is a genius. Because I saw the images he posted earlier. I didn't know he turned it into a video. Somebody needs to give that man a medal. No, this is our guy. This is our guy. The Red Sigma. Yo, you getting good with these AI generative AI joints.
Even the press say what's the meaning of VAPORS? The meaning of radio, TV, and even the press say what's the meaning of VAPORS? The meaning of radio, TV, and even the press say what's the meaning of VAPORS? The meaning of radio, TV, and even the press say what's the meaning of VAPORS? The meaning of radio, TV, and even the press say what's the meaning of VAPORS? The meaning of radio, TV, and even the press say what's the meaning of VAPORS? The meaning of radio, TV, and even the press say what's the meaning of VAPORS? The meaning of
She MC Tish now, not AG Tish. Yo, I'm gonna have to download that, John. Did a dirty, Sigma. Did a dirty. Where's Sigma's banner? Yo, that shit's hilarious as shit. Yo, I know y'all already are, but subscribe to Red Sigma, man. Yo! Yo, that is hilarious. I seen he had posted the pictures earlier. I didn't know he did a AI video animation of them joints. That is hilarious, bro. All right, let's load this joint up real quick. Did y'all see our boy Hakeem Jeffries have his fake, I don't know if it was a fake, if it was staged, but he had this fake shouting incident. He said Flat Top is saying, yeah, I know, that shit's funny. Jail, sir. Yo, shout out to Theo Webb with the $20 super chat. He said, can you imagine all the lips crying if we gain 7 seats? We need them goddamn seats. We need them seats.
網膜の上に直接情報を映し出すスマートコンタクトレンズが来年2026年に発売されます。視力補正
We got more pricey games coming up in the second half of the show. Don't go away, folks. We got more pricey games coming up in the second half of the show. Don't go away, folks. We got more pricey games coming up.
So, Keisha, what's a high value man to you?
A man that gave me 10 kids, 3 evictions, $10 on Cash App, and still pull up in a Nissan Altima that sound like it got asthma.
So, Keisha, what's a high value man to you?
I used to say silly things like, where are all the good men at? Until I started taking accountability. Now I know I'm just an ain't shit ass bitch.
Maybe I am the problem. Maybe I am the problem. Maybe I am the problem.
Yo, quiet storm with the super sticker. Let's hold on, I'll load up your Iran joint for you too. Hold on.
Denzel, before you leave, can you hit us off with that King Kong line?
King Kong. I'm putting cases on all you. Can you curse on? You can't curse on it, can you?
No, you can't.
I'm putting cases. You'll be playing basketball in Pelican Bay when I get shoot program, nigga. 23-hour lockdown. You think you can do this to me, Shaq? You think you can do this to me?
Denzel, before you leave, can you hit us off with that King Kong line?
King Kong. I'm putting cases on all you. Can you curse on? You can't curse on it, can you?
No, you can't.
I'm putting cases. You'll be playing basketball in Pelican Bay when I get shoot program, nigga. 23-hour lockdown. You think you can do this to me, Shaq? You think you can do this to me?
Denzel.
Reckless and unpredictable unit to the Middle East, the Ultima Team.
Girl, I'm lost. Keisha, guess where I am? Girl, they sent me to Iran. Who's gonna fill in? girl that. They got some good-ass food here, though. Did you not see me? Dead ass. Move. I don't even care for real. Bitch.
Thanks, Chris. Known for their unmatched ability to cause complete havoc in school zones, Walmart parking lots, and Taco Bell drive-thrus. Y'all lucky I ain't bring Keisha.
The Pentagon has confirmed these drivers were selected based on 3 things: unpaid registration, loud exhaust, and vibes. God help us all.
All right, and oh yeah, Saul. Salute to Saul with $2 super chat. He's the one that sent us the Red Sigma clip. My man out surfing the internet late night. But let's do some drops. Let's do some drops.
All right, 𝐔𝐈𝐒 Ida. I heard you're looking for a new car today.
You know your girl needs a new ride.
Well, we do not accept EBT, so get the fuck out. All right, 𝐔𝐈𝐒 Ida.
Okay. We'll do it live. Okay. No. We'll do it live. Fuck it. Do it live. I'll write it and we'll do it.
She got your ass.
We got more pricing games coming up in the second half of the show. Don't go away, folks. We got more pricing games coming up in the second half of the show. Don't go away, folks. We got more pricing games coming up.
All right. Let's go.
Partisan measure that you and other people are saying should solve the whole impasse over the continuing resolution, and that is a 1-year extension of the Obamacare enhanced tax credits. You confronted the minority leader, �Hakeem Jeffries, yesterday, asking why he refuses to sign on to it. Let me play this out here.
I voted for a clean CR to keep the government open and funded. You voted to shut it down.
You're embarrassing yourself right now.
Yeah, leader, with all due respect, you're the one.
Why are you playing yourself?
You're the one who actually voted to shut the government down.
So, why do you think �Hakeem Jeffries is saying that it's ridiculous to think about a 1-year extension, particularly when the 2 times that they voted for the tax credits, Democrats intentionally sunsetted it, first time after a year, second time at the end of this year, and now they want it to be permanent?
Well, that's the fundamental flaw in their whole argument. They created this dynamic by having it sunset in this year. These subsidies were put in place during COVID. And it really begs the question, if Obamacare was intended to make healthcare affordable in America, why does it need subsidies made permanent to actually make it affordable? I have advocated for at least a 1-year continuation of these subsidies to ensure that Americans are not hit with sticker shock. And there is more that needs to be done to address the issue of affordability on healthcare. Premiums have risen by over 60% nationwide since Obamacare went into effect. So obviously it has failed in its #1 goal of creating affordability. But �Hakeem Jeffries here, John, he was entirely hypocritical. This is a man who lectured everybody during Joe Biden's presidency about keeping the government open, passing clean CRs. He has shut the government down. He is causing our troops not to get paid. He is causing those most vulnerable Americans who rely on the social safety net to be in jeopardy. He needs to cut the crap. He needs to tell his compadre from Brooklyn, Chuck Schumer, the biggest schmuck in Washington, to get off his keister, open up the Senate chamber, and go vote to open up the government. It is absolutely absurd what these two have done because they're petrified of AOC and Zohran Mamdani, and it absolutely has to end. They are holding the American people hostage. They are fundamentally wrong here. And I called him out yesterday to his face. You know, he screamed at a podium, "Say it to my face." Well, I went and said it to his face. What he's doing is fundamentally wrong, and it needs to stop. You want to pass subsidies to keep healthcare premiums down? fine. Sign on to the bill that has 14 Republicans and 11 Democrats ready to go. Let's make it bipartisan and get it done.
Well, sir, 6 days from now is October 15th, the day at which the military would receive next paychecks if the shutdown isn't still in place. Maybe that will change the calculus a little bit on the ground. Thanks for taking time with us today, Congressman Lawler. Great to talk to you.
Appreciate it.
Click here.
All right, but yo, Nubus, what's up, Playboy? I ain't seen you in a minute. He said that's who Trump sent over there for peace. All right, let's let's do our girl Abby Phillips. That the only reason to watch the Abby Phillips show really is to watch Scott Jennings dismantle the entire panel. And I've started to notice that when when it's real heavy stuff and they don't want to be embarrassed, Scott Jennings don't be on that joint, especially when it's like big wins for Trump. So I see they don't got Scott on here today because he completely dismantled them the other day. We did a segment on that. And believe it or not, they got Cornel West on here today. And unfortunately, I used to be a fan of Cornel West. That was in the 90s, though. He's turned into a full-scale Marxist and communist, completely out of his gorgon, out of touch with reality. That's what happens when you get, when you're when you're in the halls of academe for that long. Like, you just be in your own echo chamber. Like, your little theories don't be rooted in what's going on in actual reality. So let's look at our girl Abby Phillips.
California, Oregon, Illinois will be heard tomorrow. DC, they are going to be decided based on the real realities on the ground. And essentially, if I can sort of boil down what the various decisions have been, is that we, the federal courts, are going to give the president deference. In fact, great deference. We're going to give him the benefit of the doubt about if he says there's an emergency necessitating National Guard or other military. However, he can't just make it up. He can't just send military or other troops into a situation where there is no genuine threat to federal assets, federal resources. And the reason we're getting different results, I mean, California, he was allowed to deploy. So far, he's been blocked in Oregon. We'll learn tomorrow probably about Illinois, is because you have different facts on the street. So analysis of the kind of video we just looked at, testimony from people on the streets, that's what's going to be make or break in these lawsuits.
So, Congressman, I'm going to play, this is an interview with the border chief, Greg Bovino. He was talking to our colleague, Priscilla Alvarez, about when they decide to stop people. And here's what he said.
Perhaps you look panicked when you see a Border Patrol agent. Perhaps you look scared. Perhaps your demeanor changes. Perhaps you're gripping the steering wheel so tightly that I can see the whites of your knuckles. There's a myriad of factors that we would look at to develop articulable facts for reasonable suspicion.
So if you're scared,
I think that was clipped completely out of context. You start to be able to notice this stuff when you actually start making content, because like you're telling stories and creating narratives. The Communist News Network. I don't know. Was it 𝐷𝐿 that said it? Crying Negro Network.
apparently that is, according to him, reason for them to arrest, detain, whatever. I mean, what do you think when you hear that?
I want to know why we're doing these huge, massive things on Border Patrol and ICE agents trying to get illegal immigrants out of the country. They're not citizens. And I'm so adamantly on this because I'm in foreign countries. When it's time to go, when your visa is up, you get the hell out the country. These are people who've been here for decades. Like there's nowhere else in the world that you can enter another sovereign's country and just post up and stay, let alone get a job work, have a family, a house, and all that. You can't do that anywhere else in the world.
Well, you have to add in the fact that many of these ICE agents are masked, they're plain clothes, they're unidentified, and they're violent. So, yes, people are going to be scared because you have these unidentified masked agents who are screaming and violent and using excessive force a lot. So naturally, you're going to be scared. And we're seeing it all over the country. We're seeing it here in New York, where an ICE agent shoved a woman to the ground who was lamenting the fact that her husband had been taken. By the way, both of them were here with an asylum application ongoing. So that is a...
I'm waiting to hear Cornel West's response. And I'm wondering if I'm going to be utterly disappointed if he just goes with some typical far left liberal line of reasoning, because Cornel West is quite the intellectual. And so this is my point about being people giving up their critical thinking to align with to blindly align with ideology. So I'm very interested to see what Cornel West's take on this is going to be.
A lawful pathway to get here. He was originally suspended and then was reinstated for some undetermined reason. This is going on all over the country. It is excessive. And the American people recognize that we can have a robust immigration enforcement system without this kind of violence.
That's absolute
and
crap.
Without
I'm going to jump in on that.
Police.
He said that's crap. That's absolute crap. I'm gonna have to jump in on this. My man, like, tag me in, boss. I can't take it. Let's go.
Absolutely not true.
Mafioso.
You just criminalized the law enforcement. You just pretended there for a moment that for some reason the law enforcement is the only one who's masked and violent. And the protesters are showing up and blocking ICE vehicles and raining bricks down on their roof and wearing masks themselves and being thugs to the media for that case. I mean, why aren't we caring about the media who are being attacked? The reality is, the boots on the ground, the troops, the boots on the ground, the troops, the law enforcement, they are the ones who deserve deference in this, not the protesters. And I think what the American people are really sick of is the idea that Antifa and thugs and people who want to protest the police and paid agitators who come from out of state, they can show up and do whatever they want, and that people will go on the air and say, you know, the law enforcement really needs to calm down. No, how about this? Protesters stop showing up with masks on. Protesters stopped showing up.
We just saw a video where they were doing nothing.
Do protesters need to not be masked, but ICE agents can be masked?
Well, ICE agents have to be masked because they're being
ICE
docked.
agents do not have to be masked.
They're not being
ICE agents do not have
to protect their safety.
Hold on a second. There are ICE agents. I watch a lot of these videos, okay? There are some that are masked and some that are not. So clearly, even within the same group of ICE agents that are conducting the same operation, some choose to go masked and some don't. They don't have to be masked. But my question is a lot simpler. Is it okay for protesters to be masked if ICE agents are masked?
That is a stupid art. Yo, she really be thinking she be Yo, she is so terrible. That is not. That's circular logic, amongst other things.
Is it?
Is it okay for protesters to be masked? If they want to wear a mask, it's fine. But why are we complaining about the police? That's my point.
Well, we're complaining about them being masked.
My point is,
don't have secret
if there are apps that are being
because the police are being because the ICE are being doxxed, and there are $10,000 contracts on their heads and their families. Like, what are we talking about? This is clown world. This is clown world. What are we talking about?
That's the thing. There are apps that are being created that are the sole purpose is to dox ICE agents. And there are people showing up at their houses. And there are families being threatened. Why would we not?
I think all of that is terrible.
Do you know this for a fact? Because
I do know this for a fact.
I have not seen ICE.
And you're ignoring the fact
about 1,000% upswing and all this stuff. I haven't seen examples.
We just had shootings in Dallas and Alvarado, Texas at ICE facilities. You remember that, right? That was actually people
I
died.
was very quick to condemn that. That's unacceptable, and those people should.
That's a clear example of what we're talking
There
about.
have been attacks on ICE facilities.
There have.
It's important to note that. But I mean, what we were talking about before we got to this point was about their interaction in these stops, right? And the question actually to Bovino was about whether they were profiling people, whether they were just looking at people and saying, oh, you look Mexican, I'm going to stop. You look Mexican and you're scared. I'm going to stop you. And I think that's the question that a lot of people are wondering right now is that.
That's also a false premise. We know very well that these ICE agents are out primarily with frigging warrants. And just like Holman has been saying from day one, let us into the prisons and the facilities and the detainers to get them out first. Because if you don't let us do that, we're going to have to go into the communities with warrants looking for individual people. But in the process of looking for those individual people, if they are with other individuals, if they were with friends, or if they are with family, in the process of serving that warrant, we're going to scoop up everybody that's there. And anybody that's got a warrant or is here illegally, they're going to go too. So you're going to have collateral damage. He's been saying that since Trump, since before Trump's inauguration. And exactly. I think Saul is hit at the heart of the matter here.
Is that where we are as a country, where you can just not only stop people, but detain them, take away their liberty for any period of time just because of the way that they live?
Yeah, that was called stop and frisk. Welcome to America. Like, niggas is like, so what? Welcome to the 80s and the 90s in Philly and New York, Playboy, LA. Like, what is we talking about?
No, we have enough evidence, though, brother, that there has been racial profiling, especially for precious Latino brothers and sisters.
Shut your bitch ass up, fucking Cornell. Cornell, they represents the utter failure of the intellectual class. Cornell West represents the utter failure of the black intelligentsia. In the ivory halls of the higher echelons of academia for far too long. You're just out of touch with fucking reality. No one wants to hear from an old fucking Marxist.
Who are legal citizens. That's the kind of tear that I'm on. And we've got to be concerned about the arbitrary use of powers.
How are we going to get all these people out the country? Shut your old ass up.
Especially from it when it's above. Now, we're not talking about demonizing any police or demonizing ICE. Now, I ran for president and I was trying to abolish ICE because I thought, in fact, that we ought to be able to relate to each other in such.
Shut your goofy. This is what I was a big fan of. He's quite the intellectual. I was a big fan of Cornel West. Met him personally. He's a brilliant man, but he represents the utter failure of the black intelligentsia. The 60s are over, you old fucking niggas.
A way that we could talk about the rights and liberties of law enforcement, rights and liberties of citizens, because that's the only way you're going to have some mechanisms of accountability to keep what's left of the democracy alive. If we're dismissing.
Shut your bitch ass up. Fucking hate these old niggas, man.
Arbitrary power from one camp and the other camp is only concerned about their camp, then you're not going to have any public life whatsoever.
Can you talk to us,
election,
Ellie, about some of these cases that are coming up where these judges are going to be deciding some of these issues, the use of force, who they're stopping, the arbitrary nature of it? I mean, there's a case where some families were literally picked up in a park in Chicago, a public park in Chicago.
To Dr. West's point, there was a Supreme Court opinion 3-4 weeks ago where the Supreme Court essentially said it's okay to profile, right? ICE agents in California were stopping people, not disputed.
Yo! Yo! Quiet Storm said Morgan Freeman need to stand in the corner somewhere.
Let's be nice. Let's be nice. We don't have to go there. I mean, you're not wrong, but you didn't have to say it. I mean, good Lord. Let's be nice.
Yo, that's so funny ass shit. Yo, oh yeah, she is starting to get the turkey neck. Abby got a sexy ass voice though. Detroit 313 said, "You heard what's going on?" Yeah, bro, exactly. We were just talking about that the other night. You heard what's going on in Japan with Japan's prime minister? They are kicking out all foreigners out the company. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. The U.S. accept and they're getting the Africans and the Muslims out first. Sorry to say it. And Japan's looking at what's going on in the UK and Scotland and Ireland, and they're like, "Oh hell no." That's and in Germany, like, bro, they've got roving mobs of Pakistanis and North Africans gang raping like 13-year-old girls, and it's crazy, bro. We got this goofy Cornell West over here, like, I just want to, I'm going to apologize so that we can have a conversation. Have a conversation, bro. With Trenday or while, deep, like I said, utter failure of the black intelligentsia. Yeah, that's Trump what Trump's doing is right. Actually, and a lot of people, Trump's setting the tone globally.
Explicitly on the basis of whether they appeared to be from another country based on their skin color, if they were speaking another language, where they were, car wash, Home Depot, that kind of thing. I thought, no way the Supreme Court's going to approve this. And the Supreme Court was the usual.
Yeah, they are going after the Chinese too. Like that Chinese-Japanese thing, that shit's never going to end, bro. That's blood feud forever.
6-3 split said that's okay, that's permissible, at least for the time being. I mean,
that's where the court is wrong.
Well, I was right, but I mean,
and
in a criminal context, you could never do that. In immigration, there's broader leeway, but that's where we are. That's the law.
If I remember correctly, Justice Kavanaugh in that in his writings on that case basically said, well, when American citizens are detained, it's briefly just to question them. We know for a fact that that's not how it's gone for many American citizens, including some who have sued.
Yeah, and look, we take any detention, even a brief detention, that's an infringement on someone's freedom of movement and Fourth Amendment rights and others. And also, those brief detentions then lead to questioning, which then lead to sometimes more long-term detention. So very serious.
Man, they don't fight for American citizens this hard.
I was shocked by that opinion.
All right, guys, that's a wrap. That is my time for this evening. We're at the 2-hour, 13-minute mark. Man, thanks everybody for coming out and supporting the stream, especially. I appreciate you, man. Can't do this show without you. We'll be back tomorrow. I actually might have a new clip show for tomorrow night. I've been working on some stuff. Yeah, thanks everybody for coming out, man. That's my time for this evening. I want to say good night and good luck.
Hey, where's Stewie? That's tomorrow, and that is it for us today. Okay, I don't know. Whatever it is, it's not right on the teleprompter.
There it is. We are going to do Sting, yeah.
There's no words there. To play us out. What does that mean, to play us out? To end the show?
Yeah.
All right, go.
In 5, 4, 3.
That's tomorrow, and that is it for us today, and we'll leave you with a... I can't do it. We'll do it live. Fuck it. Do it live. I'll write it, and we'll do it live. Fucking thing sucks.
In 5, 4, 3.
That's tomorrow, and that is it for us today. I'm Stewie Griffin. Thanks for watching. We'll leave you with Sting and a cut off his new album. Take it away.